I've taken my testosterone levels from them being down in the dump all the way up to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter and regained dominance over my life, and I'm no longer intimidated by any man. And I have achieved all of this while being a traumatized kid with crippling anxiety. So if I did this, I know you can too. I did all of this without any testosterone boosting supplements, no TRT, and no ancestral diet that's gonna skyrocket your testosterone magically. Now, no testosterone or health/nutrition guru that you see all over the internet is going to tell you all this because it makes them lose money, and they just want to spew all kinds of nonsense on you guys just to make things harder, while I'm here to tell you the truth, hard facts that will get you results. This video, I'm going to teach you how to optimize your testosterone levels and increase them so that you can defend yourself and no longer be intimidated by anyone that targets you. If you're not ready to take that leap, then click off this video. But if you're like me, who's fed up of people disrespecting me, choosing us as easy targets, and are always intimidated of other people and not capable of defending yourself, then you found the right place. Now, everything I'm about to say is pure facts. None of this is my own. This is the conclusion I came up with after spending 2 years of researching testosterone. Why do we get picked on? Well, let's look at history and biology. Throughout history, the strong take over the weak and they conquer them. Now, this is unfortunate, but it is true, and it's been happening since the dawn of humanity. If you go back to before we were civilized, some tribe would come over, take over another tribe, and then they take their resources and then do other stuff. And if we go to biology, men compete for status. And the hard truth is, the reason you get picked on is because yours is lower than the people that are picking on you. And how do people tell? Well, they can tell your status based on a couple things: body language and confidence. And of course, if you can't tell, if someone's closed in and they're generally quiet, like I was, they're going to get picked on. It's just a fact. It's happened to me, it's happened to everyone. And there are three rules that other stronger, higher testosterone predators, or not predators, it's other people, choose a target. First, they evaluate. They see your mannerisms, how tough you are. Um, are you able to defend yourself? They make jokes. This isn't just at school, this is everywhere. They make jokes at you to see if you're going to defend yourself or just going to let it slide. And if you let it slide, that's a good thing for them, not you. And then they attack. They attack you, they start bullying you, they start making fun of you online, they start harassing you, all these things. You are now their prey. Which brings me to my next point: the modern day lie. It's the lie that we are no longer primal, that there's no need for men to look intimidating and to be strong. Well, that's completely false. And while you were indoctrinated to believe that, some other guys your age didn't believe it, and they kept it in them. They were like, you know what? Let's use this for bad. So then I started to compare bullies and animals. And we're actually very similar to animals. And I spent years of my life, like 5 years, watching animal documentaries, lions, uh, elephants, hippos, all that. And I realized how similar we are and how I could use this as an example. First, animals, when they're hunting, they choose the weakest link. And our bullies generally gonna choose someone who's buff and on the football team or in an MMA team, or they're gonna choose someone who's alone and smaller than them. They're gonna go for the one who's alone and smaller than them. And then they analyze its habits, Is it injured? Is there a weak point I can attack? And then they set the target. Maybe them and their buddies go after one person or just by themselves. Whatever it is, they attack. And then that's when the fun begins for the predator, but the torment begins for you. And I hate to use this term, but you are now prey, and they are going to feast on you. It's an unfortunate truth, but this is what I went through, and I want to make sure that you don't go through the same thing. What's their advantage? These predators that target you, why do they feel like they can target some other people? Well, of course, they had higher levels of testosterone than you, and they used it to hunt you, which is a fact for humans and animals. And after talking about all this, I want to ask you a question. Do you still think we're all that civilized? That in this modern era, there isn't anything primal about that? Just something for you to ponder. So, this made me think about how easy it is to fall for the tricks that were made by the strong to keep us weak. And you may think that's an overreach, but I see examples of it every day. And testosterone is mainly used for good. We need that. We need ambition. We need to survive. We need to chase goals. That's what we need it for. But unfortunately, some people use it for bad. And it's actually it sounds like a low testosterone thing once you think about it. If the big picks on the weak. Unfortunately, having overconfidence is a sign of high testosterone, but that's just the facts. Can't do anything about it. But it's not limited to that. We can tip the scale in our favor. We can use that to our advantage. And I'm going to show you how. And if you want this more in depth, I do have a course down below. If you want to check it out, it's the first link in the bio. Now, testosterone is what makes you a man. And what that means is we can use it to change ourselves astronomically, as we've seen hundreds of thousands of men do it before us. And everything I just told you, all the examples I used, was based off of my personal experience. For 7 years, some years in middle school, a year before that, and the rest of high school, this was my reality. And I had to live this. The fear, the anxiety, intimidation, and lack of capability to defend myself was because I had low testosterone. And how did I come to this conclusion? I'll just look at how I lived. I was isolated. I didn't socialize with people. I ate like trash. I had bad sleeping habits. I didn't exercise. The best time of my life that I could remember is when I used to play basketball. But after that, less movement, less competition. Felt like utter trash and no ambition. So that's how I came to this conclusion, if you're wondering. And now all of these were just symptoms of a greater problem that no one understood until now. I really think that if we take time to optimize and increase our testosterone, we can get to the root of our issues. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to use testosterone to defend ourselves. Now, don't listen to all the influencers that talk about testosterone this, testosterone that. I've actually spent 2 years of my life researching about testosterone, how it's produced, and how we need it. And it's actually produced in the brain. Fun fact. So I want you to take notes. I don't want this just to be another video you watch and then go mindlessly scroll somewhere else. Grab a piece of paper, get your phone, the notes app, and follow along. And this applies everywhere, not just to school. Let's talk about your diet. The modern day diet isn't the best. It's actually not conducive to testosterone. It makes you lazy. It gives you bad gut health, all everything you can think of. So we're gonna need to change the way we eat. And how you do that is your problem. But I'm gonna tell you what you need to eat. First, you need to eat food with high micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that our body needs in order to produce testosterone. Through all the studies that I've read and heard other people talk about, is that in the increase of testosterone in studies was usually because of micronutrients. The micronutrients in food boost testosterone. So let's use that for ourselves. Foods like meat, fish, eggs, milk, potatoes, fruits, and vegetables, and even liver. Liver is the multivitamin of nature. All of these improve testosterone. And for the love of God, please eat your carbs. I don't know where all this nonsense came about carnivore, about how you can't eat carbs, it's bad for you. Carbs help increase testosterone. You need carbs to lower, well, it's a protein called SHBG. And this binds to testosterone. And when it binds to testosterone, your body can't use it. So we want free testosterone. And this is what carbs do. They help increase free testosterone. So eat carbs like white rice, bread, quinoa, and potatoes. Don't look at that typo. So after you get your carbs, we want to focus on our gut health. Fermented food, things like cabbage or like kimchi, think pickles. Greek yogurt is great for gut health. It feeds the good gut bacteria in your gut, which we need. Tea and no seed oils. Don't eat like vegetable oil, canola oil. Get that out of your diet. I don't know why you're still eating that. Me personally, every time I eat that stuff, I feel like crap. It's the truth. So I cut it out, cook all my food in butter. If you can't handle butter, try olive oil. And anti inflammatory. We need to reduce the oxidative stress in our bodies. Stress decreases testosterone. Now, acute stress is okay, like in the gym. Chronically elevated levels of stress is not good for us. So, how do you reduce that? Berries, blueberries, raspberries, um, any type of berry you can think of. Eat that, and it's an antioxidant, which means it's anti-inflammatory. So it lowers inflammation. Lower your stress. Watch comedy. Comedy is something I use when I'm stressed out or after a long day. Relax, kick up my feet, watch something funny. And hydrate. You need to drink water. If you don't drink water, you're not fully preparing yourself for the next day or just your body's functions. So just hydrate and get yourself under control. And vitamin D. We actually have vitamin D receptors in our body. So it's seen more of a as a hormone. And if you want to supplement this, ask your doctor. About 5,000 IU's per day is what I go for. But it can depend on your diet. But, none of us get enough vitamin D from our diets anyway. Competition and aggression. Now, the biggest study that I've seen was a chess study. Two guys playing chess. And it showed that while they were playing, there was an increase in testosterone by about, I want to say 70% or around 700. It was insane. Now, obviously, that's not for forever, it just momentarily. It also goes back to baseline afterwards. But we can use that daily to increase our baseline. For millions of years, men competed for high status. It means respect, leadership. You can most likely get a girl, and also pass your genes. When you reproduce, you're going to continue on your lineage. Take a look at any study that correlates competition with testosterone. And I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, are going to show that when men compete, their testosterone increases. If you want to fact check me. Physical and mental. So this competition isn't just physical, like playing a sport. It can be mental. Just like chess, it can be mental. So if you don't have anyone to be physically competitive with, you can do something mental, like go online, find a game that puts you against other guys, and go off. And of course, physical, like football, sports, boxing, all that is great as a source of competition against other men if you're interested in it, which I highly recommend you should. And let's talk about aggression. Now, testosterone is useless without aggression. If you're boosting your testosterone, you're eating all the right foods, sleeping at the right time, but you don't use it, there's no point. Aggression is testosterone fueled motivation for success, not violence. It just manifested that way for some people, which is obviously wrong. And that's one way it's manifested. But I want to another way it can be manifested is I will accomplish this goal no matter what. When you have that thought, that's aggression. It's kind of weird you're hearing this for the first time. That aggression is good for you because when you put your aggression towards improving your life, getting goals, mm, just going after things that you thought you couldn't before, but now you can. That's amazing. That's something everyone should do. And some type of aggression is like combat sports. You can increase aggression through combat sports, boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. That's a great way. And at the same time, it is a form of competition. And what about low aggression? What if you have low aggression? Well, some symptoms of it: low focus, low dopamine, low motivation, high anxiety and fear. I can remember back in the day when I used to get bullied back in middle school, I had very high anxiety and fear. Kids would bully me, and then I would be too scared. I wasn't aggressive enough to defend myself. That's why they kept bullying me. And that's how I knew I had low testosterone. Now let's talk about your social life. It probably doesn't exist. Now, I'm not saying that to attack you, I'm saying it because I was in the same position. Most men only leave their house for the gym, school, and the grocery store. How do I know? Because I was just like you. And if you don't get used to being outside the comfort of your own home, everything I teach you will be useless. Because you need to go out, you need to meet people. You can't we're natural adventurers. You can't just stay in one place and be a hermit for the rest of your life. And actually, here's an interesting fact. Talking to attractive women increase testosterone. Yeah, a simple good morning or I like your hat. That's enough to give you a testosterone boost. And don't be creepy about it. All right? If you're one of those dudes that like you can't even imagine yourself talking to a girl, just talk to other people first. To dudes, get used to talking to other guys at the gym or on the trail you walk, and then do it that way first, and then warm up to saying what's up to a girl, whatever. In nature, we are naturally curious. Humans are not sedentary. We need the thrill of discovering a hidden path or a cave where we can shelter in is naturally in our DNA. If you want some evidence about why it's good to go out, well, you get deeper sleep. Once you're exposed to the sun, natural light, your circadian rhythm starts to get fixed, and you actually want to sleep deeper. And your stress levels drop tremendously from being in a natural environment. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a nice green area with trees, singing birds, you just feel relaxed? Well, that's important, and you should take note of that. And outside is where we get the most of our energy. If you feel tired inside your home, go outside in the sun. 5, 10 minutes, you feel energized if you just give it the chance. And this is where we regulate our hormones. Vitamin D uh, changes from it converts to cholesterol, and then cholesterol converts to testosterone. All those processes in our bodies, and it clears our mind. And one thing I know this is very famous nowadays, biohacking. No biohacking is gonna replace going out in nature. It just won't. Exercise. If you are not exercising, you are not taking care of your body or your hormones. Working out boosts testosterone because it helps you lose fat. And if you have increased fat, more than about 20% body fat, you're gonna have your testosterone is gonna start decreasing. It boosts GH and it increases your status. GH is growth hormone, helps with your bodies. It helps you build more muscle and also other processes. And we're going to work out to look intimidating. I know everyone has this look about being aesthetic. Personally, I want to look aesthetic and intimidating. So what I want you guys to do is to train the regular body parts everyone else does, but add in forearms, neck, and traps. These have the most androgen receptors in our body. And that's just basically how well our body reacts to testosterone. And since they react to testosterone really good and they have high amounts of them, if you train it, you will get bigger naturally. And these are also the muscles people first notice. And imagine you're just walking. You want to pick a fight with someone. And if they look big and strong, their forearms are huge. They have a thick neck and their traps are like mountains. Are you gonna pick that guy? Pick him up. Don't pick him up. You're not gonna pick that guy to fight. You're gonna go for someone else. So in conclusion, it's harder to pick a fight with you. And this brings me to my other conclusion. Don't just look dangerous, be capable of being dangerous. Which means learn how to fight. Based on my previous examples about boxing, Muay Thai, all that is good examples about learning how to fight and defending yourself. Being able to stand your ground and having the capability of defending yourself is more liberating than anything else that I've said today. Yeah, imagine yourself getting bullied. You didn't have the capability to defend yourself. Now that you're exercising, now that you're learning how to fight, and that happens again, think about how amazing and strong you're going to feel that you're no longer powerless. That's amazing. That's what I want for you, and I can't wait until you reach that point. And use this to protect yourself and the people you love. Don't ever use anything here to hurt someone else unless they're asking for it. You want to avoid any fights, of course, but just use it to defend yourself and to repel off any weirdos. And yeah, that was it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I made this video to help out people who were in my situation when I was younger. I'm obviously way better now, still getting better, but this is just a journey that I'm really happy to be on. And I want to make sure that you guys experience it also. And if you did enjoy it, you can support me, give me a like, subscribe, or recommend it to people who you think might need it. And consider clicking the link down below if you want this to be like a bit more advanced. Thank you.